Welcome to the Pleasure Program. We are two sex therapists, and we are about to react to a Reddit post regarding someone's sex life.
Okay, so I have a Reddit story for you that you haven't heard yet. This is a complete surprise to you, and we are going to share our reactions to it.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, advice on sharing weird kinks with your significant other. I'm sure this kind of question has been posted here before, as well as issues regarding my particular kink, but everyone's situation is different, so I thought I'd share mine. Basically, I've been in a relationship with my current girlfriend for a few months now, and she seems to be the first person I've dated who is really open-minded sexually. So I have this kink that's related to ABDL, where I am sexually attracted to adult diapers. I am not into age play or even using the diapers, but merely I'm attracted to the look and feel of them, and it also ties into vulnerability and humiliation. I have worn them before and enjoyed it, but really I'm more into seeing who I'm attracted to in them. It's almost a thing to wear something like adult diapers is so conventionally unsexy that it is sexy to me. I've never shared this kink with anyone, and truthfully, I could live without indulging in it, but due to my girlfriend's openness, it really made me feel the urge to test the waters with her. We've already talked about other things we enjoy. She told me she'd like to try role playing and anal, things I'd never thought about or had an interest in, but would be open to. And she's been open to the more tame stuff I like. But there's just a mental block with the diaper kink. Essentially, all I'd want out of it is to have an opportunity to put her in a diaper, admire how she looks, and we get off in some way either by having sex with the diaper on or I use a vibrator on her. I could be the one wearing, or even just cuddling watching a movie while she or both of us wear, and that's pretty much it. So, how open would you be to that if you had no idea what this kink was? Would it be worth sharing? Are there weird kinks that you've shared with your significant other in the past? How'd it go?
Okay.
So, first, let's talk a little bit about ABDL, just so, viewers can get a sense of what that is. And it's a community with kind of two different kinds of kinks joined together because they're kind of in the similar realm, but they don't always go hand in hand. So there's adult babies who are adults that like to pretend to be an infant. Sometimes it's sexual, sometimes it's not sexual. And then there's diaper lovers, where they might not like to pretend to be a baby or like other people to pretend to be an infant, but they like diapers. And this is what this individual really falls in for the category, is that this individual is a diaper lover. And some diaper lovers seem to find arousal in urinating or defecating in a diaper, but he didn't mention anything about that, so it doesn't seem like that's in his arousal palette, but just something to know more about this particular community.
And it
Right.
sounds like it's more exploratory. He doesn't indicate that he has actually explored this in real life yet. It's just been a fantasy.
True. I don't think he mentioned that. And he did say that it's not something that he needs for sexual gratification, but he would like to indulge in it. He also mentioned something that we should touch on is the why for him seems to be like a vulnerability and a humiliation piece, right? And we've talked about erotic humiliation before in our small penis humiliation video, which, some people are aroused by like emotional masochism or emotional sadism, where they either enjoy inflicting emotional pain or receiving emotional pain. And this seems to be the area that this gentleman enjoys receiving emotional pain, is through humiliation involving
Or
diapers,
that he thinks he will,
no,
right?
thinks he will.
Right.
Or he also mentioned wanting to see her, so he might like both the masochism side and the sadism side. So that's one thing, right? Like, really kind of could also fit into a dominant or submissive type dynamic. That might be another why to why someone might have a diaper loving kink, where it fits into this, they're submissive and need to be cared for, or they're dominant and want to do the directing. That kind of thing is another reason why someone might have this kink.
Right. I think that with the first part of this individual's question, like, how would you react to hearing about an interest in this kink without any sort of awareness prior to? I think that there can be misconceptions related to this kink that that this is somehow related in some way to sexualizing children. And so I want to address that misconception that this really is, if done, a healthy kink involves consenting adults who are participating in either the emotional masochism or sadism here, or role playing if you're more in the adult baby dynamic aspect of this, and that there is no actual arousal towards children involved in this kink. So that is something that I would be a concern for somebody who's not aware of this kink or in the kink community, to have that understanding. That would be a concern that I might want to address if I was bringing this up to a partner, and maybe talk about the kink community at large, and maybe introduce the idea of, hey, I've come across this kink within the community that kind of piques my interest. What do you think? And, do you have any concerns about people who engage in this type of kink behavior? And maybe start with a conversation just about the topic in general before moving into, is it, should we give this a try? Because this sounds like this is mostly a fantasy at this point for this individual as well. And sometimes we fantasize about things, and when we actually start to implement them, we come to realize maybe it is or isn't for us.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. It sounds like they're good at talking about sex in general, which is a good first step, right? Like if you're going to share a kink with someone, let's make sure you can talk about sex in general and tackle that first. And then if you can, maybe you start to share some lighter kinks. He talked about lighter kinks that he had already shared. Great. And see how that goes. And then I love your suggestion of, hey, maybe I discovered this or I heard about it, and this is what it is like, right? Like tackling the misconceptions. Like, what do you think about that? So that they don't go straight to that misconception of, oh my gosh.
Right. Like, what could this possibly mean? There's a strong association between diapers and what their actual use is, which for the most part is for children who haven't learned to use an adult toilet or a potty yet.
Right.
So that could maybe raise some red flags unnecessarily if there isn't the appropriate context provided to what this kink is really about.
Right. And if you're interested in learning more about this community, we'll put in the description box a link to a sex therapist that has a blog about it. And then also this individual called the Diaper Doctor, where she's got resources, she's got books, she's a therapist that specializes in this. So give you some more resources if you're interested.
We have a video all about sexual fantasy, and there is a part in that video where we discuss how to safely and in a healthy way share a fantasy with a partner. So we will link that below for you to check out.
This gentleman had a second question of if other people have ever shared a kink with their significant other and how did it go. So we're going to open that up to you guys. So feel free to comment below and let us know your experience.